Oh, I got the taillights back in. That looks better now. And this horrible headliner, that rocker panel gravel guard stuff was going absolutely nowhere. It was so porous. And I didn't want to put anything water-based on there because it would soak it all again and warp it more. So I put a coat of marine enamel on it. Tried to work it in there as best I could, and it is soaking in and gluing it together pretty good. So I don't know, we'll try, I guess. A couple magnets holding stuff down there, little bubbles. But yeah, let's see how it goes, I guess. Looks pretty nasty right now. Well, I took out those little backup lights. They weren't too bad a shape. Clean them up a little bit. I noticed a crack that I just put my fingers in. Right on the back there was a little bit of a crack. I got some JB in there. The other one was way worse. And then I started looking at how horrible that black bumper looks. So I started stripping it. And I got some heavy duty white primer or something on there, but it is coming off with the stripper. Peeling it all off. So that's coming along. These little backup lenses, one was fine, the other one was snapped in half, but I got some glue on it, and it seems to be okay now. Stick them back together. The tail lights are cleaned up and back in. The little rubber gaskets I made for it fit really nice. So I'll just keep chipping away at this bumper and see how she goes. I don't think it's in very good shape. I mean, it is bent, we can see that, but if I can make it even half shiny again, that would be nice. This is the other little backup light. It was in pretty bad shape. The whole bit there was gone, and around the other side here was all gone. So I JB welded a little rod in there and we'll build it up and maybe just spray it. You don't see much of that, so I can probably get away with spraying it with a chrome spray paint after it's back in one piece anyway. Back to in shape. Yeah. Got everything here ready for the fuel pump and filters and fuel line and clamps. Getting ready to put the tank in pretty soon. Now I got part of it cleaned off a little bit. I don't know, it's not very good. This stuff is just bubbling up now. Just clear coat it like that. Let it dry and clear coat it. Bubbling right up. But underneath that is the white stuff. And then that's pretty tough to get off too. Well, all the paint that was on the bumper is now on the floor. Well, there's still a few bits of white shit left. That was some pretty brutal primer they had, and it's stuck like shit to a blanket. Be nice to straighten it up, get that kink out of it. I don't like that kink. And it's bent in a little bit at the bottom too. I think if I maybe chain it to the truck and put some pressure on the bottom, maybe I can beat that kink back down. There's another one over, a little bit of a over beside it too. This side's alright. But the whole thing could use with a spring outwards. So I got cleaning it up, and you can see it's a bit straighter now. Not quite as humpy and lumpy and bumpy. We're down to a little bit of a ripply area there instead of that big peak. Back in the day, all the body shops had a long bar with a special little grabber thingy on the end, and they could straighten these bumpers out just by latching onto them and reefing on it. I was thinking it'd be nice to have one of them, so I made one. Welded a piece of angle to the end of a bar there. Now I can reach in right at the side and then slide over to where I need to be. On the other side has a chain welded to it, so I can hook it on to a come along hook to the truck, and I can pull. I should be able to pull that last little weird dip out of that. We'll see. And then it's not too bad. Better than it was. Still going to take a lot of polishing and sanding and scuffing. And notice the chrome is let go over here, and they ground some of it off right there. But there's another bubbly cluster of it that should be ground off. And then if I dress it up with the floppy wheel after that and sand it, it shouldn't be too bad. It'll look like a weird spot, but whatever. Yeah, still a bit of a hump and a bit of a dip. That looks pretty straight. That almost has to go in. But if I do that, I won't be able to get my fancy bumper tool in there. That side's out a little ways too. Just about the same. I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to try and straighten that a little bit out there. With a chain to the truck. And I come along like that. Just about. I'm going to drag it out a little bit more. I'm going to beat it down right in there. And then that'll probably hold it. That's probably about the best angle to watch it from for you guys. I'm going to give her a couple more gentle ones here. That's about all the pressure I could put on before the car wants to start rolling back. So. Alright, let's take the pressure off and see how far it goes back. How's the heck with it?
Should be able to get chain out of there now.
Yeah, it's better than it was. That's for sure. Oh, there was a battery light again. Yeah, it's not too bad now. Tripping over the tripod light. Better. We get those little backup lights cleaned up and the rest of this polished down a little bit. Yeah. So that marine enamel soaked in pretty good. You can see everywhere I sprayed that other shit. The rocker guard stuff. So I think I'm going to give it one more coat today. And see if the rest of it doesn't seal up a little bit better. It's sealed, but still it's soaked in. I think one more coat and I'll roll it this time instead of brushing. It took way too long. So yeah, set it up and hit her again. I was looking up at that thinking, oh, here we go. This guy's leaving a trail. Holy cow. You can see, yeah, it's pumping it out. Then I look over there and there's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 passes already. Probably 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, just pounding us with that stuff. Disgusting. Nobody says anything about it. Everybody's busy running in getting a shot in the arm instead. Well, got another thick heavy coat on there. Boy, the wrinkles sure show up on the camera. Wow. That's the front of it. So we'll let that sit in the sun and bake. And I don't know, I kind of like it beige like that. We'll see. Well, I got the sending unit in there, the gas gauge and the sucky belt and filter stuff. Fiddled with it a little bit, get it to fit. Cap those off just with a horseshoe of rubber. I mean, that's good enough. Nice and tight. The wires, I got to clean up the other wire. And I'm thinking got that jagged old hole there, and that neck is going to come up through there, but what needs some sort of a foamy rubber gasket to fit there. I bet a piece of this stuff would work just fine. And then big floaty noodles. I'm going to cut a chunk of that and trim out the hole there and stick it on there. Like that. Now that'll squish up in there pretty good. And it'll close that hole. And it'll cushion the wire. I got to bring the sending unit wire up through that hole too. So that'd be nice. So I got that little old yellow lead wire for the gas gauge cleaned up, cleaned out, got the little end polished up nice. Then I couldn't figure out where it's going to plug in. I found a little blue wire underneath here. Oh no, we can't. Oh yeah, that shows up. But that is for the license plate lamp. Then I saw one sitting down in here. It was all black. I've cleaned the black crud off of it, but there's the yellow wire. So it's just got to come up through the floor there and plug in. Plug and play. Flatter than it was. There we go, it's laying on top. I decided I might as well straighten that corner out. Be a lot easier now than when it's in, so we'll do that. There, that's a lot better. Much more straighter. Alright, well, we can stick it in now. There we go, the tank is in. The hangers, I had to adjust one, so I made a bigger one. A little bit thicker stuff than this. That's all bolted in there good. Hanging, I got the fuel pump mounted here. And the fuel filter. I always keep all the ends of everything closed off until you hook them up. This is my line going up front. I'm going to blow it out. I'm going to unhook it up there and blow anything that might be sitting in here out. And then I'm going to push some through the filter and pump after I throw a bit in the tank and maybe suck it up this hose, just so there isn't a dry space for the pump. Apparently they don't like that. So I had a whole pile of these, the female spade connectors, but not a single male anywhere. Couldn't find nothing. So I just smashed one flat and it fits in there pretty nice and tight. I looked for about a half an hour for some little clamps like that, just to screw some wires down together with, and then I made that one in about 5 minutes. Well, here we are back under the hood again. I got that dirty old fuel filter out of there. Looks kind of dirty inside. When I pulled it apart and then varnish poured out, so I'm kind of thinking I might have to get into that carb to clean it up. But, yeah, so there's the gas line coming up there, so we'll hook up some air and see if we can blow that out a little bit. Well, I know I saw some come gushing out of there, and it looked pretty yellow. So maybe I'll flush a little bit of clean gas through there first. Blow that through, maybe clean out the line a bit. Okay, I gave her a little shot of seafoam in there. Let's blow that through. My stupid air gun leaked so much I couldn't. Looks like it came through though. That's good. I won't see until later. Okay, the gas line is primed. The fuel pump is primed. I worked the throttle here. I thought I heard a squirt. I dumped a little bit down there. Let's see what happens. Dead battery. So there's that little backup light that was missing the whole bit there and here. I bent a little piece of metal rod and laid it up in there with some JB weld and coated it as best I could, but half of it fell off while it was drying. So I just got to fill a bit more in here and on this side here, and then I should be able to do something with it. At least it'll be whole again. It looked nasty when those chunks were missing. Yeah, well, the charger's been on it for about a half an hour now. We'll flicker over to the engine start and flick some switches and see what happens. Holy smokers. Poor little battery charger. Huh. Well. The first gulp of everything it got was seafoam. Big cloud of smoke. Let's turn that back to just regular charge here for a little bit. Oh boy, that really dented the poor little thing. Huh. Well, that's what happens, I guess. Now I have to take my poor little battery charger apart and fix that great big dent. And it pushed the corner in. Look at how crooked it is. Jeez. So that sounded pretty scary, basically. We'll try that again in a little bit. I'm going to let the charger sit for a couple more minutes and then flicker over, and I'm not sitting the charger on the car. I got it over on a bench there this time. Use my brains a little bit, I guess. Well, I want to hear it run some more. I want to hear it level out and idle. I think it's still choking. I think it chokes on. We still got. Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Oh yeah, I can see it. It's right there. Huh. Well, what do you got to say this time? No leaks or anything nasty like that. It just sounds like she's kind of choking. The choke is closed, totally closed. How can we... Oh, hey, it's got a manual choke. And it was on choke. It's idling at 700. How the granny is. We got brakes. Well, feels like maybe I've got brakes. It's got no move. The move don't go. Doesn't look like maybe we don't have any. Yeah, there's not so much as a drop on the stick. Yeah, let's see if we can find some. Well, I stuck a good leader in there. I think that's all I got. Let's see if it moves now. forward and backwards.
Wow.
Now here's something I kind of forgot that I got. It's supposed to fit the Holley carb. What do we got in here? We got another little piece of threaded rod and a wing nut. There's a little adapter kind of thingy. What's that for? Doesn't this just go right on there? Yeah. Does this maybe go on here? Look at that. But there's no gasket for it. Does it need to be there? Maybe not. I don't think it does. Does this fit that one? Wrong size wing nut, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, well, we'll find one that fits. See, there you go. That's why I keep and collect all sorts of odds and ends. Here's the one that came with it. Flimsy, punched out of sheet metal. Like just hollow, eh? And here I got one that came from 112. A little bit of cleanup. And that's a nice solid one, and that's the right thread for what we've got over here. There. Now it can have clean air. Nice. That little guy I didn't even need, but that'll come in handy for something, I'm sure. Huh. All right.